Well, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. I'm your host, Earl Baisden. Joining me are co-hosts Cal Waldron and Andre Doc Manders. Well, gentlemen, the 2023 Cup match teams have been selected. Let's run down the players who have been selected to represent the cup holders, the Somerset Cricket Club. Jordan De Silva, captain. Terran Frey, vice captain. Trey Manders, Kamal Levrock, the Unstoppable. L.J. Richardson, Chris Douglas, Malachi Jones, Stephen Bremer has been recalled, Derek Brengman, and McQuill Walker is a Colt. The reserves for Somerset Cricket Club include Alex Dorr, Jaden Manders, and Dominic Subir. The challengers, St. George's Cricket Club, have selected Onias Bascom as captain, Sinclair Smith, vice captain, Treadwell Gibbons, Zico Burgess, Azende Furbet is a Colt. Rodney Trott, Charles Trott, has been recalled. Brian Hall is a Colt. Alan Douglas II. Mackay Simmons and Dalray Rollins has been recalled with reserves. Jonte Smith, Zuri Tomlinson, Marcus Scotland, and junior reserve Luke Horan. Let's, Doc, as a former captain of Somerset Cricket Club, let's talk a little bit about that team. I mean, they've made two changes. They brought back Stephen Bremer, and well, obviously he replaces Kyrie Furbet, and Mikhail Walker replaces Greg Mabry. But just looking at the players that have been selected for Somerset, Doc, give us your evaluation of this team.
Well, Earl, I tell you what, I didn't. I was up to the match. I watched the match. I saw some of you up there.
Mhm.
I was really impressed with your boy Mikhail Walker Berlin. And I was impressed with a lot of other players, to tell you the truth, too. But it's just that it's just that in Somerset's team right now, they got the cup. And with the young team they got, it's hard to make so many changes.
Mhm.
I mean, I see some players probably just waiting, knocking to come in, and it's just unfortunate for them. They're playing with a cup match team that's stacked with good players already, and they're slowly, I'm giving them time. A lot of these guys are young, so they're going to eventually get in there. But I was pretty much pleased with the team. I thought boy Walker, Kyle Walker really earned his spot. They gave him 2 or 3 spells.
Mhm.
He built for one end. He got wickets. It's unfortunate he had turned out the first ball of the game.
Yeah.
He got dropped, and he came back again. One thing I like about him, it's fit, and it gives you his heart. When he, I know Cal knows this guy when he builds. He's one of the only build on the team for a long time. So when he finished his run up, his spin was down to the batsman looking. I say, yeah, every time he built yesterday, he was on the wicket looking at right in the batsman's face. So really impressive for him. And I think a lot of the other guys that they made the team was probably unfortunate. And the wicket keep thing, it was 4 of them that was trying yesterday. It was rotating them. Bremer had a turn. Kyrie was wicket keep. Then they had Amari Evan. Then we had Janoy Bean. So it was all rotating them each of them. So I didn't know what and Stephen Rimmer batted really well. I think his wicket keeping wasn't too clear. I think all the keepers done a really good job, tell you the truth.
Right.
Even if the keeping was okay, and most of them batted pretty good. So I left that up to the selectors. That was in their hands. So I wouldn't be a selector trying to pick any one of the keepers that play yesterday, because all of them to me done pretty good. But I guess I made a went for Bremer because he got the most runs of them. I don't know. But I'm pretty pleased with the team. Like I said, to run out, it's unfortunate. Greg, they had to drop somebody for the boy Walker.
Mhm.
And then Greg had a couple good spells in the match too. He got 2 wickets in the end.
Mhm.
But I think with Mikhail Walker, you probably get a little bit more. Not saying that Greg didn't give him more, because Greg played for 11 years.
Right.
And he's really earned his spot over the years, getting wickets at crucial times, and So I guess Somerset went for the change with Kyle Walker. Especially last week he got six wickets for Bay. But I tell
Right.
you, another thing he gives to Somerset team is variations too.
Yeah.
Slow ball, his pace, the height he's got,
Mhm.
the Yorkers he builds. So I think he's pretty much the real deal.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pleased with the team.
Yeah. Looking at it, I think how consistent Bremer has been in the league with the bat, I guess, helped him overcome the others, being that everybody was pretty much equal yesterday. I think that's what gave him the edge.
It could be because he's been consistently making runs. You're right.
Mm.
Or maybe to Kyrie, it's been kind of consistently in the maybe last month or so. He's made a lot of runs too.
Right. Right.
So it probably came down to those two. I'm not too sure. I
Right.
wasn't there.
Right.
But I guess this is what they came up with. So
Yeah.
you assume it's a recall, so it's nothing. It's nothing new to him. It's been there before. It's been in the squad. All of them been in the squad. Kyrie and him. So
Yeah.
like I said, yesterday's betting, watching him bet, he betted really well. I think he got 30 odd. Hit the ball, straight, and
Mhm.
and his Vicky Keaton wasn't too bad, like I said. So
Right.
I guess he earned his recall. And then there was a few other young batsmen like Alex Dorr
Yeah.
and
Half century.
the boy Proctor. He had a big girl well, and he batted well towards the end of my nephew Jaden. So
Yeah.
all these guys batted really well yesterday. And it's just unfortunate that everybody can't play.
Yeah. Cal, let's talk about this St. George's team. They've recalled Charles Trott. They recalled Dowey Rollins. They picked up a colt in Azende Frebert and Brian Hole. Looking at this team, I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
I sent you my two teams yesterday, so I was correct on Somerset. It was just a flip-flop of who they were going to drop for the strike bowler.
Yeah.
I had another strike bowler in for St. George's to accompany Zico, but they chose the slower bowler in Hall. But everybody else I had pretty much picked correct. I think it was a headache for them because I'm not even sure what time they released their team. They had a lot to discuss, a lot of options to go over. I think they wanted to make sure they had a good balance. It's unfortunate Stovall bowled well yesterday and didn't make it. Jonte got dropped. So that's the balance of trying to find the right team to get across the line on the day without hurting people's feeling. But then guys are young enough where they still got years in the match.
Right.
I think they had a headache picking the team without a doubt.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Looking at the batting lineup, I think that test of opening with Alan Douglas, I think that should be over. That hasn't worked. They've tried it on a few occasions. It hasn't worked. You got to put that on the shelf and put him in his regular position when it plays the longer version of the game, only because he likes to attack the ball. Yes, if he gets going, it's good. But in cup match, I think when everybody's up, the bowlers tend to bowl a lot more straighter and more consistent bowls, better bowls, as opposed to when you're playing regular cricket where you might have a bowler who can get one on the spot and the rest go over the boundary because that the bowler's not consistent. You think that's right?
Yeah, it will be interesting what the game plan is because even when you look at the opening bowling, Zika is a genuine open bowler. So now it's who's going to bowl with Zika? Would it be Charles? Would it be Chinky? Who's going to take the new ball? So that's where the game plan has to come to fruition and stick to the game plan rather than bowling or batting. But the Allen opening hasn't worked. So which way do they go now? Who do they open up with? And hopefully it comes right.
Right. Doc, Somerset had a bit of a scare as the teams were warming up for the second inning with Chris Douglas, running into the side screen. I talked to him before I left. He said he was okay. He said he saw it at the last minute, and that's why he kind of protected himself. But he did, hit that wall kind of hard. But knowing that Chris has been a thorn in St. George's side for a few years now, having him back in the team or be available for the team, how much does that give Somerset confidence knowing that he's available?
It does. I get a lot of confidence because remember last year he scored a century.
Mm-hmm.
And most cup match, every cup match, Chris performs. Sometimes, if you don't make runs the first innings, the second innings, he makes runs. One of the innings, the guy puts his head down. So it's nice to see him back. Like I said, I didn't know what transpired in his incident with the umpires and stuff. I don't want to get into all that dirt, but it's done. He's done his time, so he's eligible to play. Mm-hmm. And I guess hope that he settles down a bit, right, because it's not a left-hander. I like to keep that left and right combination in cup match with Taryn and him, right? But I think it was another left-hander in there too. I would like to see Teddy look what Alex do better really well yesterday too. Mm-hmm. Not a left-hander in there, but with him, with Chris in there, left-hander, it's always good. And with Chris attacking style, and Frey is a great Frey play. That's a good combination of opening bets.
Right. Yeah. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more of the two cup match teams before we get into Colts cup match. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this? John Barrett & Son is bringing us something fresh and exciting for the new year. Bai Antioxidant Infusion Beverage. Bai delivers the natural antioxidant benefits of the coffee fruit in glorious combination with a variety of exotic fruit flavors, with only 1 gram of sugar and 10 calories per bottle. The folks at Bai are inviting us on a world tour through these amazing flavors. Brasilia blueberry, Zambia Bing cherry, Costa Rica clementine, Malawi mango, Panama peach, Ipanema pomegranate, Kupang strawberry kiwi, and more. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
And welcome back. Well, guys, it was also an injury scare in St. George's when Dowry Rollins left the field during his team's time in the field with a finger injury or a hand injury, where the ball hit him on his hand. At the luncheon interval, he was there with ice on it. Later in the evening, he had it in a sling. But I saw him today and he didn't have it on. So he looks like he's recovered enough to take his spot. after what is it? He played in 2011, I believe, or 2013, something like that, 2014.
14 or somewhere around there.
I
So
think it
yeah,
was
9 years later, he's back in the team. A lot of people have a lot of hope for his ability to help guide St. George's, but it's going to take a team effort. If St. George's can wrestle this cup away, it's going to take a team effort. Wouldn't you say, Cal?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, it's coming on to what is their strategy and game plan. Can the players really keep the focus on doing it and execute it across the line? Quite obviously, it will shift and change as the game changes, but don't go out there blindly hoping that Somerset is going to give you the match. You got to go take it to Somerset and take it from them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Back to Chris, Doc. Chris hasn't played much cricket this year. Do you think that was a concern for the selectors?
I'm sure it was. I think a lot of the just walking around the field, you heard a lot of that. There was a lot of fans were concerned about him not playing a lot of cricket, and I was thinking the same thing, right? He has played a lot of cricket. He's been injured. I think he work commitments they were saying, but watching him bet yesterday, he was trying to get, he was trying to settle down and bet until he ran himself out. But I don't know with Chris. Sometimes some players don't need all that. But I'm sure that St. George's will probably saying the same thing. They'll probably try to build to him a lot more than Tarrant. Being that Chris hasn't played that much cricket.
Right.
But one of the things was with St. George's lineup, being that one team got knocked off for 40, and there was a lot of seam bowlers that was getting wickets. I was surprised, like they only took Sekou as a strike bowler. I don't know if there are other intentions, but to me, that wicket looked like it was seaming around. I mean, the boy Stavo got 4, Sekou got 3, and everybody chipped in to get wickets. And I was surprised, like Seth got wickets. I'm surprised they didn't take another strike bowler, like maybe Seth or the boy Darryl. He got 3 wickets, but I'm not saying. I'm just saying that if a betting lineup like what Somerset has, maybe they meant with the extra spin, like Cal said, we don't know the game plan. Maybe the game plan was to take more spinners, and hopefully that the ball turns. I haven't seen, I haven't been on the season George's Wicket. I don't know if it turns or what. I don't know what it does, but yeah, after yesterday's results, it seemed like a lot of the seamers and the fast bowlers got wickets yesterday.
Yeah. The wicket they played on today in Colts Cup match in the St. George's inning, it was the spinners that made the difference for Somerset getting the 5 wickets. Their pace bowlers struggled with line and length. They just couldn't get anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, but was it the same wickets as yesterday?
I believe it was the same one from yesterday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they cut some of the grass off because there was a lot of grass. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's going on? But like Cal said, is important. Like you said, I'm sure they got a game plan.
Right.
Players probably come up with some game plan. Anything they just probably have to try to stick to that game plan.
Right.
They knew they could more than Somerset players. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Cal, I'm looking at the St. George's lineup, and I'm thinking, if Sinclair Smith, the vice captain, does not open the inning, he may bat number 11.
Well, that would be a blessing to them. He'll be fresh. If the lassie has to bat, the battle for them. So as the wicketkeeper, he's going to be out there X amount of hours, squad after squad, being verbal, being the engine room to motivate the players. So if that's the way they choose to want to go, but if they open him, then hopefully he's refreshed and able to do a dual role.
Because I mean, I'm looking at it, and they bat right through 11, pretty much like Somerset. They bat through 11, and in any order, in any way. If they need runs, they could always push Charles Trott or Allen or Mackay. It's going to be interesting how they do set up, and we won't know until that day how they set up, and then I guess you'll got to see or believe what the game plan would be. Doc, let me ask you, who do you predict in the St. George's team to be the game winner?
Like everybody would think, it's got to be Delray Rollins. I mean, you have other batsmen that could be game winners, like Alan Douglas could be a game winner. You never know if it's on, like yesterday. Delray Allen, maybe Onias Bascom. You know, there's a few in there that can change the game. You know, I'm sure Somerset's not going to take them for granted. You know, the team itself, it's not a bad team. Like, they stacked themselves with a lot of batsmen that can hit the ball. You know, Zico is another player that, if he gets his pace, you know, all right, and he's another one that can hit the ball too. So, but like I said, it's you got to look at Somerset's building attack too. You know, they got a pretty good. You know, it's not if it's not going to be a type of wicket where they could go out there and attack guys like Kamal Lavrock, Walker, and then we got spinners like Dion. They got Malachi. They got Derek Brangman. So, you know, it's gonna be really interesting to see how they come up with their game plan. I know that the boy Walker's gonna be doing a lot of overs, especially watching Bill yesterday. But it's got to remember, it's 2 days. You don't want to burn them right out. I think Malachi is gonna be coming on building some overs like he done yesterday. He got a few wickets. And then Dion, Dion's gonna be building a lot too. So it's gonna be interesting. I see somebody saying Treddy and Picnic that could go too. You know
Yeah.
They have a lot of options.
One thing about Rodney early in his inning, he plays very straight. But it's that consistent fast bowling. I think he likes to come in when it's in. You know, when they bowlers are bowling, I think he's more comfortable. Now we have to see what happens if he's opening and he's facing that cherry early. You know. Yeah. So Cal, let me ask you, who do you believe will be the match winner for Somerset?
I think somebody at the early order between Chris and Tarrant, but they both can bat long. So the longer they bat, they can build an innings, and it gives other people around to come in and do what they got to do. You still got the Dion's who can bat long. The top order are really stuck with batsmen that like to bat long, so they can build a decent innings. So it may be a case of building a score rather than getting a score. Vice versa, they have players that could go out there and score fast. So I would say one of the top 4 batsmen.
Okay. All right. And Doc, what do you think the Somerset plan is for someone like Malachi? We saw Bailey's Bay use him as a pace bowler. We saw yesterday he was coming off about 8 paces, and he was successful in getting wickets. You know, I know probably Jeff will want him to build a little bit of pace. That's what he's been in the team for all these years, and now all of a sudden, you know, he's trying to build a little slower or build a little different spin. But what do you think he should be doing first for Somerset?
Well, me perfect. I like to see him, you know, this long run up. But yesterday he didn't build spin. It was like medium to fast, and he was just building on one of those little nagging lengths where you might be able to hit him, but also he's gonna use a lot of variations. I think he's using up top here now. So I guess it all depends how that wicket's playing. You know, if that thing's coming off, I'm sure he's allowed to. You know, if it's a nice track for you to build on, I'm sure he's going to come off and build a little quicker.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, Kamal built yesterday 4 or 5 overs. I mean, he was really quick yesterday.
He was coming through, yeah.
So
yeah.
that's making him on St. George's strip is a little faster.
Right,
You know?
right. I think
Walker
he had something in the back of his mind because he had got a fresh bowl duck, so he needed to. Get one, give one.
Hey.
What Somerset did yesterday, they tried to give a lot of the
French players.
French players hits, like, you know, like they was pushing them all up. They pushed LJ down. They wanted to push a lot of other, like Dion came in late. LJ came in late. Who else came in late? Kamal. So, you know, they was trying to, I guess they was looking at some players, and, you know, all the wicket keeps came up early, like four wicket keeps. So that was obviously they was looking at something to do with the wicket keeps. All they embedded pretty early. And then they was looking at some of the bowlers were bowling like extra spells too. So I guess they was looking at a few other players than the players that. I mean, I'm sure they had their team like already picked. Maybe it was just 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 players they was probably looking at. But you know, so that's what kind of happened right there. So like I said, it's gonna be interesting how they line up that batsman too, because Delray Berlin, you know, left arm spin. I got 3 left-handed batsmen like Chris, Kamal, and Jordan.
Right.
You know, to if they're running in trouble, like, you know, Berlin to your right hand, the ball come across your right hand, they go always push those 2 up there to at least battle Delray. But you know, so they got the options there. You know, it's just a matter of them coming up for a game playing too. With the St. George's players, I'm sure Clay will be getting a game playing for Somerset's batsmen too.
Sure. Was an interesting comment just now where someone who follows Bayless Bay on a regular basis made the comment she doesn't think that Walker's ready for 2 days. Interesting comment. You know,
don't agree. I don't agree with that. I saw him bowl yesterday, and I felt kind of sorry. I said, no, why this guy threw opening for like 5 or 6 overs. They took him off by 7 or 8 overs, brought him up the other end, right? Blew him like 4 or 5 more overs, got a wicket, and then they brought him back on the other end where he had started first for another 4 or 5 overs, and each time he ran in and bowled. So I don't know. That was my only concern too. That for 2 days, so they're gonna have to do some wisely over those 2 days. But after yesterday's performance, he's fit. And a lot of people said they see him running, you know, say it's a football, he's fit. I think it's just pretty well fit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take another commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk Colts Cup match. We'll be right back.
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, you know, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends, and that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
Here's one of our favorite feature brands, true veterans of the food awareness movement. Bob's Red Mill, the U.S. leading miller of organic whole grain foods. Only whole grains have the entire value developed during growth. And once you try them, you know that this is the way food was intended to be. Try Bob's Red Mill blanched almond, whole wheat pastry, and artisan bread flours, and 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour, unsweetened shredded coconut, gluten-free homemade wonderful bread mix, and a variety of rolled oats. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, we have some more comments about Walker. I guess when you were talking about how they're going to use him, definitely wisely, and tired footballer too when it's ready. But let's get into the Colts Cup match today at the Wellington Oval. The St. George's Cricket Club dethroned the cup holders Somerset Cricket Club by 5 wickets. Somerset Cricket Club were bowled out for 156. They got 34 from Jaden Manders, 33 from Shirai Tavares. They opened the inning and were 57 for 1. And then when Jaden got out, they were on 75. They had a quick Jaden Morrissey and Jamal Proctor hung around 15 and 24 each. But then the only other person in double figures was the KO Hart with 17. They kind of fell apart once they were 113 for 4, 120 for 5, 128 for 6, 142 for 7, 142 for 8, 153 for 9, and all out for 156. Kushai Darrell, 13 overs, 2 maidens, 5 for 31. Isaiah O'Brien, 5.2 overs, 2 for 24. Luke Fulton, 1 for 14 off of 8. That included 2 maidens. Jabari Darrell, 1 for 31 off of 8. And Luke Horan, 1 for 35 off of 7. That included a maiden. Definitely not going to be enough runs on the board. 156 for Somerset in that inning. Doc, did you get to see any of it?
No, I didn't, but I was following it online. Like you said, I saw that they had a good start.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that 30, the wickets, started to drop. I thought they could have helped them. Like they should have had some more partnerships in between the middle there. But they kept losing vital wickets in the middle. So, definitely 156 definitely wasn't enough. Not on that wicket. They. And with your boy Chris Adair, I think he was building spin. I think it's a spin bowler.
Mm-hmm.
Getting 5 wickets. He got some of the top orders and they went right through the team. So, that's definitely where they lost that game too.
Yeah, and then in reply, St. George's scored 160 for 5. You had Jarrett Richardson and Kushai Darrell open the inning. They scored 111 in the first wicket partnership. Kushai was the first to go for 67. Jarrett went on to score 48. They lost some quick wickets. Marcus Scotland went for 1. Jerry Tomlinson went for 11. Ayinde Bascom went without scoring. And it came down to Najaya Reyna and Luke Horan. Reyna scored the winning runs, hitting a 6 to end the match with Horan 4 not out. In the bowling department, you had Dominic Sabir take 2 for 33 off of 10 overs that included 2 maidens. Shirai Tavares 1 for 25 off of 7.1 that included 2 maidens. You got Jaden Manders got a wicket off of 4 overs that went for 23, and Joseph Bayston 2 overs. He gave up 9 runs and took a wicket for Somerset. So St. George's clearly got that vital start, especially Kushai Darrell. When he came out, he was in an attacking mood right from the start. The first ball he faced, he hit for 4 off of Nairobi Mills. And Nairobi struggled with his line and length. And once he was struggling in that area, I think he could not figure his way back into the game. He had a drop catch. He had a few missed fields. And I think because he was getting on himself, he was just never able to pick up. You think that start, Cal, was what cemented the victory for St. George's?
Yeah, without a doubt, they had a good start. Like both teams struggled there in the middle, but definitely the start between Jared and Kushai laid the foundation for a somewhat of a comfortable victory.
I know in the middle there are Somerset. I mean, the Somerset players were walking around with their heads down, but when they got out Kushai, it gave them a little bit of hope. And then when those wickets started to fall, they got even more into it. They had a few decisions that didn't go their way, umpiring decisions that they felt should have been given, but were not given, unfortunately. And I think they were so caught up in that regard, it kind of hurt them from going on to try and get some more wickets. Doc, when you have youngsters who are so, I want to say, passionate about the game, how do you help to control those emotions, especially on the field?
What it is, a lot of these guys watch the senior players too. So sometimes, they gotta remember, like, everybody makes a mistake. Umpires make mistakes. They make mistakes. So you can't keep dwelling on the umpire's decision all the time because you thought he was out, but you don't know. I'm saying, like, the thing with a lot of the younger players, man, or what I see is like they have most of them, like, they really gotta walk down, like, lead the decisions to the umpire and concentrate on the game, man. Like, the youngsters gotta remember, like, that it only takes one ball to get a wicket. So the umpire didn't give you up, you go back, get mad, go on and try building the guy up. Like, why you keep dwelling on the umpire's decision at a time that if you take your chances, that's another thing too. It was a few drop catches. So don't worry about what the umpire is doing. Worry about what you're doing, your players is doing, and concentrate on your game plan. That's the main thing. They need to concentrate on the game plan and try. Look, like you said, as soon as they got that wicket, right, they start coming around. So where was all that before? Like, you got to stick to your game plan. Like, you got 5 wickets afterwards, and like Cal said, 111. That's a good start. Normally, there's 111 teams, like, even chasing 150. A lot of the fielding teams dropped their heads, so they kept it. They stayed there. Don't keep dwelling on decisions. Sometimes you got to do things on your own. Stick to your game plan.
Right. There was one incident, Cal, as an umpire. The Somerset players thought they had a catch from behind by the wicket keep, and umpire just never gave out, never moved. The batsman never moved. The umpire never moved, and he had at least 8 players between him and the stumps. But as an umpire, how do you manage to, like, keep as calm as you can, under kind of duress?
I think it's giving your decision. If your decision is no, if they choose to want to ask why, not out, he didn't hit it. At the end of the day, it's the umpire's decision. The umpire has to hear it, see it, deflect, whatever. But it's at what stage of the game? That was when they were taking wickets, so they thought they had a foot in, or so, the hype was going with them, so they thought they had another one. It's at the end of the day, you just control what you can control, and that's you building the ball. Leave the umpire's decision to land, not out. Just turn around and build again.
And that's what they say. Use the controllables. Do what you could do. Don't worry about the umpire's decision. Go get mad that the player didn't walk or something like that. Go build him a bun, do something. But once the umpire says no, you got to respect the decision. Sometimes it's hard being an umpire because if you don't hear it, you can't. If you didn't see it, like, guys don't get the privilege of replays. You can't give a batsman out if you ain't sure.
Right.
And like, it's hard. It's hard for umpires. Like I said, it's really. They have to make that decision as quick as possible. And you can't, like, say after like 3 or 4 minutes and keep them peeling, then you put your finger up. You gotta, if it's no, it's no. You gotta stick to your decision, and you gotta just be positive, like Cal said. Like, if you don't hear it, you can't give them out. If you don't see it, you can't give them out. Like,
right.
That's these guys that's got to know, and I'm sure it's going to be some of that in cup match too. It's going to be decisions. Players are going to be running up to the umpires. I just hope that over the 2 days, deportment, most of the players' deportment on the field is good because you're gonna have a lot of people on watching the games, and that's what, like I said, we talk about the youngsters watching that. So once they see that, they say, "Wow, this person ran up somebody's face. This person done that." So it's up to our senior players to you know, to make sure that they don't do that. You know, anything about this year is not televised, so a lot of people can't see
Right.
it. But still,
Right.
it's going to be a lot of people down there too. So it still don't make it right for you to run up in the umpire's face, and because if it's no, it's no, they ain't gonna change. So
Yeah.
what you know, what you're gonna do about it? Like, well, you're gonna get yourself in more trouble.
Right. Yeah. All right, prediction time. Back to cup match. Cal. What's your prediction?
I think Summers is going to hang on for a fighting draw. So Georges are going to be up to the challenge and give it to them and take it to them. And they're going to hang on for a draw.
Okay. All right. Doc?
I agree with Cal. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be come down to a little bit of luck, a little bit, like I said, maybe their decision, luck, and good fielding or whatever is going to decide if it's a result, if it's going to be a result. But I think it's going to be a draw. I know we don't like to see draws, but if you look at both teams, it's got good betting, and it all depends on the valor too, because you know,
Yeah.
boys,
It's anticipated rain on Thursday.
Rain. Yeah.
one of the days, so you know that takes a lot from the game too. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's not, you know, but still, I
Yeah.
still think it's not going to be a 10. It might be an exciting draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely an exciting draw. So Georges are going to come this year and be prepared to play and not the
Yeah,
games that were seen in the past. That's my prediction. But that's why I say Summers is going to hang on for a draw. They're gonna put the shutters out.
Okay. And I have to agree with you there. You know, a lot of people will talk about what we've said, and yeah, I'm anticipating a draw. And the reason why I'm anticipating a draw, it's probably only because that if the forecast is correct, then it's going to be very difficult to get a result. Never first day without rain. Yes, never first day without
True.
rain.
yeah, and especially down St. George's, you know, it's just one of those things, you know. It 2 days. If you get, like I said, if the first day you get rain, is even it's a 1 hour, even it's like a 2 hour delay, you know.
Yeah. Makes it difficult.
Yeah, it makes it difficult for both teams to really.
Yeah.
And after that, though, you have to really rely on your builders to you know,
Right.
and your
And that would
fielders,
definitely mean St. George's has to take more chances.
more
Anytime
chances.
time is cut short, St.
The
George's
Georgians have to take more chances.
Yeah.
They
In
definitely
order
have to
to
take
get
more
the
chances.
cup,
Some don't really have to take the chances in it, but
Yeah.
St. George's
Yeah.
will definitely have to take more chances. And
Yeah.
but if you look at that lineup, they probably could do that if they're betting
Right.
over the gun. They
Right.
can't hit the ball if they need to.
Mhm.
But it also could backfire too, because with the build
Yeah.
Somerset gut, you know, it's going to make it interesting. So
Mhm.
you just never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, next week Sunday we'll be talking. We'll hopefully try and get the cup holders captain to come on with us and talk about the 2 days. If we can get the other captain to come on as well, just to talk about the 2 days of cup match. So
So
have a happy cup match.
I'll leave you with a thought, Earl. So if
Yeah,
cup
go ahead.
match is 2 days, shouldn't the
Uh-huh.
trial match be 2 days? So that way we could answer that question of can that bill last for 2 days?
Someone mentioned that yesterday. I kind of agreed with it. Maybe the two clubs need to look at that to get a real
but
taste of
that-
what they're
that's-
going to
that's-
get from those players over the and play it within the rules of the 2 days of cup match.
Cal, that's a good idea, because then you don't have to worry about looking at new batsmen and trying to not let the main batsmen don't bet, you know, and
Right.
you know you could over the 2 days like today. I mean, like their Cold Cup match, you could always play Cold Cup match the week before on a Sunday, make a little build up, and
Mhm.
then today there could have been another day for these guys to play 2 days, you know, and then you could really look at everybody. You could see who's mentally prepared to play 2 days. But I guess that's something the clubs need to probably talk about. I mean, I never thought about that over the years I was playing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Doc, back when you were playing, they had how many trial matches?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
had-
Now it's on to
Yeah, a
now,
lot.
now
See,
it's
and
on
that's
to
true.
no
That's
trial
true.
matches other than the final trial.
And that's what I'm trying to say with Cal bringing that up now. If with all the crickets that's played, they need to have 2 days, because when I was playing it was like 5 years exclusive, at least 4 or 5 trials.
Right.
So
Right.
they're looking at the whole 5 trials. Now some of these guys play 1 trial,
Mhm.
and it's like they're making it like, and then they probably go off to their lead performances, which is
Right. Right.
You know, it could be they could have a bad. They probably when you making runs in the league or getting wickets, and then
Right.
come those 2 days get a 50, 100, to take 5 wickets to their end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's something I guess the clubs could really they could talk about. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense to me, especially
Yeah.
if you ain't got trials good. You know, if you ain't got like 1 or 2 trials
Right.
that you're here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it also gives the supporters the opportunity to come out for 2 days and watch their team prepare for the 2 days of cup match.
Yeah.
The problem comes is what time they picking the team on Sunday night.
Monday morning, bye.
Sometimes it might be easier because they.
Well,
they
that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
it
true.
might be a little easier. They might be able to see a lot more. Say, oh yeah, he ain't ready for 2 days. You know, they might see.
Right.
It might be something else. It might, yeah, you know, you never know. But and then again, nobody wants to be around Sunday night that late picking a
That
team.
late,
So
yeah.
they have to come out early.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
make to
Well,
2:30 or whatever it was in the morning picking a team and all that.
yeah. Well, let me just say happy cup match to all our viewers. We'll be back next Sunday with another edition of the Island Stats Cricket Show. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy the
Cal,
holiday.
1 minute. Can I just say something about the legends before I go off? The
Oh,
legends.
sure.
The Cup Match Legends is having we always have a dinner at Divots on August the 2nd.
Yeah.
So if any of the ex Cup Match players that are over 60 now are invited to come, but you probably have to get in contact with John Tucker so John Tucker could, because we're trying to find out how many players there's going to be.
Okay.
Over the years, it's been like 70, like the older guys. Now it's coming down to people that in the 60s.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of players that in the 60s that probably interested to come. They could play 1 year, 2 years. It's all about keeping, making sure all the players come and enjoy the camaraderie with all the older guys that have been there. So if anybody out there that wants to come on August the 2nd, I'm sorry, that's on the Wednesday. Cup Match Legends. You could come, and like I said, everything is paid for. You don't have to worry about doing anything. Just show up. I think it's from 30 to 1. So just give John Tucker a call. His number is 336-9833.
All right.
And that's
Good
on
luck.
both teams. St. George's
Both
and
teams. That's right.
yeah,
And
both
some.
teams. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
All right.
Everyone, Cal.
All right, dear Biz, and we'll enjoy this partying this weekend.
Yeah.
Trophy.
2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah.
No, they say it's 3 because it was the other the junior game too. They had the other day, the mini cup match.
Yeah, mini cup
Oh,
match.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
a three-peat.
Cup match and now cup match.
3P. Let's go.
Okay. Have a good night.
All right,
All
buddy.
right.